Can you see my screen okay, Travis, with my little social media ad genius guy on here?
There we go. Now it's loaded up for me. How about everyone else? You guys see it?
Perfect, 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 perfect. So what I found is after spending over $5 million on Facebook and working with just amazing clients, the people who focus on their customers the most, and not just with customer service, tend to win. Travis and I talked a lot about this, and he'll cover some of this today too. Knowing your customer is going to help you solidify your contest. I know everybody got in business to sell something, but you're selling something to someone. Who specifically is that person? The more specific you can be, you can not only target those people better, it'll save you a lot of money, and it'll really help out your contest. I mean, really, at the end of the day, the whole billboard sign that says, hey, visit Dr. So-and-so or visit this dentist, it's really gone. And you don't have to hit such broad markets and spend a ton of money. You can spend a little bit of money in the right places with the right target and do really, really, really well. So this is really a foundational block. I mean, that was one of the things, as soon as Travis and I met, I was asking him a ton of questions about contests. I'm like, well, and he's like, dude, as long as you have your customer really defined. And I'm like, whoa, that's what we tell all of our clients or all of our coaching students. So I'm going to give you information, but I don't want you to feel it's like drinking from the fire hose, but we only have 6 weeks to go over a lot of information, and we always deliver a lot of value. So anything I'm going to tell you is already recorded in the back of Social Media Ad Genius. So you're not only going to get this video, I'll do a quick summary video of my portion as well, but if you want specific details, don't worry, I got you covered. At the end of my presentation, I'll show you exactly where you can resource that information. So we always have you covered. And again, as you go through this process, one of the things that Travis and I were talking about before this call was some people are under the false assumption that, well, I'm just going to do a contest once and that's it. No, not at all. You can do it over and over again, right? You may change the prize a little bit, and Travis is going to go over this. But this is a marketing strategy, not that you just do once, but that many of Travis's customers have done year after year. So let's learn the specifics. Don't worry if you don't get in everything. Remember, we have a Friday Q&A. We'll answer all of your questions for you. You're also going to get the recordings, and we have a Facebook group to answer any questions along the way too. So let's just get to the basics. And again, eating an elephant comes to one bite at a time. So that's really what I'm going to have you focus on in the webinar. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of fun. I loved running our contest. We had a ton of fun. Travis has told me lots of other stories, and I'm like, I know exactly how I'm going to use this type of contest as I really start rolling out 2015. And again, any of your questions you have, I'm happy to answer at the end of the presentation. And of course, we're going to have the Lunch and Learn available for you as well too. And of course, going to give you some answers today. A lot of our students are just crushing it online by starting with some of these easy, basic fundamentals. And honestly, it takes Travis and I longer to train you on how to do it than it actually does to do the process. So it's kind of like riding a bike. You fall off a couple of times, try to figure the whole thing out, get frustrated, but then all of a sudden one day, it's like, this is the easiest thing to do. I mean, I know, Travis, I heard from one of your customers, they said that, once they got their contest set up and they wanted to do it again, like it was a couple of clicks of a button, and in no time that whole thing was up. So
yeah, I mean, because we've made it easy on purpose that way. We have a clone tool. So once you've done some of your base configurations, you literally just hit clone and then tweak a few of the details to match your new campaign. And you go from, what may feel like it takes you weeks down to an hour, down to 20 minutes. So it really speeds up once you get the hang of it.
I mean, and let's be completely honest. If you're able to get an additional 3, 5, 10, 100 customers, an extra hour out of your day to run another contest, I would think it would be a good value proposition.
Totally.
So really the time is right now to have a really good breakthrough. Now, I'll just give you a little bit of insight, and I won't get on my soapbox too much, but man, with bandwidth expanding, cell phones being more smart, internet just really, I hate to use the word exploding, but growing rapidly, and people just being connected all the time, there is not a better time in history to get people involved in a contest. Everybody has a computer or a phone in lots of different countries. So there's a ton of exposure out there as well too. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how to build this whole thing and make it sense for you as well too. Now, for some reason, my PowerPoint just crashed on me, which always makes it an interesting situation. Hang on one second.
In case anyone had questions if this is live.
Yeah. If you were like, is this recorded? Yeah, this is what happens when it's live, which is good. So Well, that is not what I'm looking for, sir. I have what you call a developing situation that I'm going to figure out here real quick. Perfect. There was some edits made that I may just have to jump through for some reason. I don't know why I'm having the difficulties that I am. I'm going to try one more thing, Travis. So I've tried this, again, is a great reason why I love live presentations. Travis, you have ooh. See, here's what happens when you have multiple monitors up, and then there we go. So I have multiple monitors, unplugged my monitors, ran upstairs, and that's exactly what happened. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to show you some really easy stuff. You know, one of the best things is, and especially about what we're going to go through here, is Travis is going to provide you everything that you really need to run a contest. I mean, everything. You don't really need any marketing skills required. You don't need any technical skills or even any social media skills. It's really just a couple of clicks of a button for you as well, too. Now, I just want to show people for just a really quick example, Travis.
Oh, hold on, your screen cut out for some reason.
It'll cut out here for just a second.
Gotcha.
I'm curious on your side, the experience level of what you see people do when they purchase contest domination. Like, for instance, are you seeing pros that are running contests? Are you seeing people who have never really marketed much online? Like, what's some of the experience level that you see come through with your customers?
Sure. So, I mean, you know, there are definitely some people that come through that are big experienced brands, right? Like Affliction Clothing or, you know, DeWalt drills and stuff. But you probably 95 to 98% of the customers that come through have either never run a contest before, or they've only run one or two sort of campaigns. They only have a couple hundred people on their email list. You know, some of our customers literally started from zero. We had one guy that used to work for the government. And so when he started using our tool, he didn't even have a personal Facebook profile. He had 0 email subscribers, 0 Twitter followers. I mean, 0, 0, 0, as much ground zero as you can possibly be. And was able to use our tool from scratch, having never really been in marketing before, and generate multiple thousands of super qualified people, and then later generate thousands of actual customers. So there's a lot of novice people, but by rinsing and repeating and really sort of doubling down on the strategy, they're able to become a pro in a very short amount of time. And in fact, I feel sort of bad about my early days when I watch these people, because I'm like, wow, you figured out in a couple months or, you know, a couple of weeks what it took me years to figure out. So definitely a lot of novice people, but the learning curve is very quick.
It really is. And a lot of it, you know, we've talked about before, is really comes down to targeting. And let me show you this right here. I got everything fixed. Can you see my screen again, Travis?
Yep, we're good.
So really, every business has a sales funnel. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on this, but it's basically, you know, you want customers to go to a website, your retail store. You want customers to do something, right? And then there's going to be a next step. So a sales funnel is really just a fancy word of saying that taking customers through that next step. So let's take you step by step from the very beginning with our Facebook marketing and how we're going to tie this in with the contest, and how we tie this in with our avatar really sharpening our ads, right? So everything we're going to do here is at the top, this Facebook sales funnel. We're going to get attention, attraction, and we're going to do some marketing on Facebook really for your contest, really to get the word out. It's going to grow your list, it's going to grow your customer base. But really what the contest is really going to help you do is really put people into your sales position, turn people into raving fans, I mean, especially when you give them free stuff, right? And of course, if you want to do your higher ticket sales. So when we go pre-sales versus post-sales, I'm going to cover this just for a second. A lot of the stuff we're going to do on Facebook is just the pre-sale, and it's just letting people know about your contest. You know, a lot of people get nervous about selling things. All you're doing is letting people know about a contest. It's really easy. The whole reason for the contest, of course, is to get people across that line and bring them over to the sales, right? So we got to talk about you. We got to talk about communication building blocks and a little bit what we like to call neuroscience, right? We're gonna go into this just a little bit, so we're making sure we're targeting the right person, and we're gonna bring a little science into this as well too. So bear with me on this for just a moment. This is really important to think about how your customer thinks. This is going to help you set up your contest as well too. So when I start thinking about my customer base, like I have an exact age range, I know where they hang out, I know what websites they like to see, and I'm going to train you how to do that too. One of the first things that I always remember is we're emotional beings. We buy on feelings and gut decision, but we rationalize the decision with logic. So the contest gets people excited, so that's going to give them some of the emotion. And the logic of it is winning the logic argument frees you up to be moved emotionally. So you have to make both cases. So this is perfect. So I think about this slide. Take a screenshot of this. Take notes of this. This is really important, right? The reason is because this is part of the sales process. So how do you get people emotional about your products and services? Well, a great way is to do it is with the contest. So now they're emotionally involved. Well, when you announce the winner of the contest, and that is the time when you make your discount of your products and services, well, you've already applied to their emotion. They've already shown up to see if they're the winner. Now, if you apply to logic the right way, you can sell a lot of units or whatever your goal is. So that's one of the things we're going to work at is generating that emotion, great for contest, and then we're going to solidify that deal with logic as well too. And I always tell people, remember, you are the creator of your own destiny. I know people have heard that before, but what we want to be really focused on is I always look at what did I do right or what did I do wrong in the situation. So let's spend a little time on planning who we're going to target, what specifically we're going to do. This is going to go a long way as, again, we build the contest and really get going. So we want to get clear on who we are. Even if you just spend a couple of minutes about it, regardless if you've been in business for 3 months or 5 years, this is just a great thing to go over. We do this actually once a year in our yearly planning. So we think about, what is our mission? What do we really want to accomplish this year? What are some of our big goals? And what do I want to do to provide value for our customer, right? If you just say you just want to sell stuff to 18 to 65-year-olds, that's pretty much what's going to happen. It's not much. If you say, man, I really got this amazing product where I can show people how to plant trees in less than 2 minutes. If I just told the world, you know what, I want to find 5 customers a month, or I want to find 10 customers a month, really outlining some of those goals and deciding what do you want to do for 2015 can be a great way to get started. And it's completely counterintuitive, but take a deep breath. I have people do this in live events all the time. And I tell people, forget about the audience market, who you feel that you have to find, etc. Like, I just have to go out and sell my stuff. If I could sell more, those are people, when they use that type of language, I know that they haven't focused on the customer first, because they're like, if I can only just sell more to, well, let's take a look at what is your customer need. Let's fill that need to really help you move. So as we kind of take those deep breaths, and we start thinking about our customer, I want to check in with yourself. How do you feel? Like, if you were to have, and this is great because it's just starting 2015, if you were to have the perfect business, perfect, right? Who is your perfect customer? And this is really important to think about. Again, not just people handing you money. I recently worked with a massage therapist that she's like, I have more people to come in that like massage. I just need more people. So she ran some ads. All of a sudden, she got in college kids, some men, some women, some mothers, and she found out that men executives over 40 typically tipped more, and she found out that they are typically regular customers, that they would come in 2 to 3 times a month, and she could sell monthly packages. The teenagers would only do it once in a great while. So what she really had to do is sit and think, what customers do I specifically want to market to? This is really important, because it's important for you to focus on yourself, on what you want. Again, if you give it, I'm sure you've heard it before, if you give enough people what they want, you'll always get what you want. But start thinking really clearly, especially for this year, what do you specifically want out of your business? And start thinking of the demographics of people that you want to have in your room. Who do you want to have in your tribe? Who do you want to have as your customer base? If you just say that you want anybody, I'm telling you, those customer service calls are not fun. You specifically know.
I can attest to that, by the way.
Let's be honest. Like, people will say, Travis, I'm going to make this up, and I can guarantee you probably heard this before. Travis, I thought I'd buy your system, and it would make me a ton of money right away. It doesn't work. And you look, and they only logged into your course once. Have you ever seen that before?
Or they sent 5 clicks, got 1 converted lead. And it's like your system doesn't work because people didn't magically fall out of the sky and enter my contest.
it's like hiring a personal trainer but refusing to walk out your front door. And they're like, well, my personal trainer didn't come to my house. Seriously, just got to do a little bit of work, right?
Totally.
So let's go through this. What makes you different from all the other peoples and brands out there that are selling the same thing similar that you are? So some markets are new, emerging, no one's seen this technology. Well, now you got to educate people, which is great, but it's a longer sales process. Or there are lots of other widgets out there just like yours. That's great. So people are already educated on their market. What can you do to be just a little different? Is it a better customer service experience? Are you willing to make a couple of more videos than someone else is? What are some of those small things that set you apart? You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of strategy. You just have to start thinking, why am I better than my competitors? I'll tell you on my side, for example, I'm not a very good speller. You will see throughout my presentation I probably misspelled something. I write videos where I misspell stuff all the time. And it's funny because some people will say, hey, Kurt, you misspelled this video where, and I'm thinking, but between you and I'm the only one making videos. I'm the only one moving my business forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I've made a commitment where, yes, I'm working on my spelling, but I want to be more concerned about providing good value to my clients and less concerned about spelling. I want to be more concerned about delivering value and making sure people are learning, and less concerning if the light is absolutely just perfect for my videos to take place. So I know these are some of the things that make me unique, besides just having a great product. But you start writing this stuff down, like thinking about it, writing it down, just really helps you solidify for your customer. And the other thing is as well too, we go through a little exercise, we're not going to walk through that here, but if you were to unfortunately pass away tomorrow, what do you want to be known as? You know, I remember, Travis, when we got in a great discussion about contests. I thought it was amazing. He typed into his phone, which I just met the guy, but I completely trusted him, and I still do. But all of a sudden, we're in the hood somewhere where we probably shouldn't be for two white guys, right? And I'm like, that I know Travis from just getting into a long conversation about contests, but it was very interesting about the journey along the way too, right? So what problem did you help to solve for people as well? Very, very, very simple. So I like to say this, and I write this on an index card, and we urge all of our students to do the same thing. Ask yourself this question every day. Is this, insert the action, getting me closer to my goal of who I want to be or what I want to do? For example, if I drink these 6 beers in front of me right now, does that get me closer to my goal and who I want to be of losing 20 pounds by February? So same thing as you're creating your products, you're thinking about your customers or your contest. In my opinion, with your contest, and Travis, you can interrupt me and tell me if I'm wrong, this question right here should be asked over and over and over to yourself why you're developing the contest overall.
Totally, yeah, because this is going to, and guys, I really can't stress enough. I know this, this part may not be as exciting as actually, seeing the progress of creating the actual contest. But the reason we're stressing this part so much is because if you get this right, everything else sort of falls in place. Even if everything else is far from being even close to perfect, if you get the prize right and the idea of how this is going to help your business, if you really, really get this part, everything else will sort of fall in place. If you rush to the next steps and just look over this part, even if everything else is perfect as far as the setup and perfect as far as how you write your ads, you're going to get miserable results. So this is the hands down most important part of this entire process, is how is this going to help you move your business forward? How is this going to help you sell more, personal training clients? How is this going to help you sell more baby products directly or through Amazon? How is this going to help you fill your dating membership site? If you think about it in that context and really say, how is this prize in this campaign going to achieve that goal? As long as you can draw that line clearly and you don't have to really sort of get a roundabout way of getting there, you'll be fine. So that's really why we're stressing this right now.
Yep, absolutely. So now this, by the way, this exercise is only for you, internal process to help you identify. It's not to be shared with your audience. One of the things I do is I participate in affiliate contests, and really it's not for extra money in the affiliate contest, but it's to meet people like Travis to just have these conversations. So what I like to do is I like to kind of tell him about my avatar and see if it kind of works with his audience. We found out it did, and we found out, hey, you know what? I think we can combine both of our services to offer a class just like what we're doing right here. And I share that inside of masterminds, what avatar I have and what other people are saying. And it's amazing when you really focus on who your exact avatar is, the other additional opportunities that pop up as well too. So let's really quickly go through perfect customers, go through you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because there's a lot of this recorded, but I want to give you some really good meat and potatoes here. We're going to talk about professional profile. Now, I was trained by a professional profiler based out of Canada. Really unique story, but basically what professional profiling is, it's very simple. It's answering a sequence of questions to determine a high level of probability. So, for example, if this is exactly what happened. When I first met Travis, I started asking lots of different questions about contests because I was interested how it would apply to my business. As he is answering me questions about contest, I can see that he has expertise in contest. I can clearly see that he's done this multiple times. So it's determining for me a high level of probability that Travis knows what he's talking about regarding contests, not directions. That's a whole other story. But it's really just...
Hey, that was Apple Maps. I just want to be very, very clear. Apple Maps versus Google Maps.
One of the most fun memories. It was so much fun. But what you do, and by the way, I do this in conversations with people, and what I do is I start asking a sequence of questions that just determine a high level of probability, right? Even if I'm right 60% of the time, those are pretty good odds. So what I do is I start taking a look, okay, my avatar. I'm going to name her Alexis. I actually give a name to my avatar. Typically, we look for females and males, but a large part of our audience is females, typically between the ages of 35 to 55. So we've looked over our leads, we've looked over our customers, we've looked over our most success stories. We found out that 20-year-olds love to buy our stuff, but they don't implement it. Someone who's 40 may have their own business they've had for 5 years, and they've invested a lot of time in their business, so they want to invest time, just like all of you, in their marketing, and they have a higher probability for success. So I love to sell product, but I can sell a lot more if I have more success stories. I want to help more people get what they want. So my age range doesn't go from the 20-year-olds that will buy my stuff and never use it. I go for 35 to 55, so I get those success stories, those referrals. That's really my perfect avatar. And it's really just a balancing act of finding your perfect audience. I mean, we're always checking ourselves in our company. Where are the leads coming in? What do the sales look like? And we listen to people's feedback because people typically, this is a whole other training I could do, typically people respond to you in emotion, not logic. You know what? I'm so frustrated with my stupid locker. The thing wouldn't open today. Okay, they're emotional about something that has no feelings. So there's no logic. Like if someone was like, hey, you know what, I was frustrated because I couldn't open my lock, but I tried this, and this, and it worked, right? So if you listen to customer support tickets, what I do, I have my assistant call all of our customers and say, Kurt wanted to say thank you very much for joining Social Media Ad Genius. Do you have any questions? Because she knows to look for emotion and a logic on what are people saying about our program, which just allows us to help people more as well too. So as you're researching your avatar, think about what are people emotionally telling you or logic. You know, one of my favorite lines, and people hear me say this all the time, is I use the word specifically a lot. Because people will come up, and I know, Travis, you've heard this. Man, you know what, Travis, I didn't get a lot of people over to my contest. Okay, that's an emotional statement. Specifically. Not very many? I know, but tell me specifically how many is not very many. Maybe that's different from you to I. What is that? 6. And then Travis's eyebrow would raise and say, right, you only sent 6, right? So we want to get to the logic of it too. But this is going to help us really better understand our customers. So we always want to listen to our audience. Do it now. Look over through some of your account notes if you already have customers. Let's keep it really simple. The simpler that you can keep all of this, the easier. Say it clearly. Let's be consistent. Make it logical. And remember, overall, our main goal, screenshot this screen, write this down, appeal to common sense. By the time that you are going to ask for more sales, when you announce the winner of the contest, you really want to say, hey, look, I've made this offer so drop dead easy, you got to take advantage of it right now. You'd be crazy not to. Let me show you how easy this is as I wrap up my portion. So we want to make it simple and we want to make it stick. So let me give you an example, okay? We want to sell customers what they want. Very important. We want to sell customers what they want. We don't want to sell people what they need. You know, people think that they need to lose weight, So what a lot of people that I've worked with before in the diet and health niche will say, what you need is a cleanse. And people are like, a cleanse? What does a cleanse mean? Am I going to be on the toilet all day long? Am I going to have to live? Am I going to have that? They don't. So what you do is you say, look, I'm going to show you how to lose 15 pounds by next week. They're like, oh my goodness, yes. So don't tell people what they need, tell them what they want. Let me give you an example. So you got this guy right here. I try to find a lonely picture of a guy out at a bar. All he wants is a date, right? So he looks at a product called Double Your Dating, which is actually a product that exists. But the product's called Double Your Dating. Well, he first starts thinking, well, wait a minute, double my dating? That's complicated. Double, I'm single. I'm not even dating right now. How am I going to double my dating? There's nothing going on. It's too confusing. So what we want to do is we want to bring this back. Double your dating is complicated. So let's make it easy. Make it easy to what they really want, right? People don't buy a drill so they own a drill. They buy a drill so they can put a hole in a wall or screw or unscrew something, right? So here's what this guy wants at the end of the day. Let's really break it down. All the guy wants to do is to talk to a girl that he finds attractive, but more importantly, someone that finds him attractive. You know, his personality, sexually, somebody who wants to spend time with him. He just wants to watch a movie on a Saturday night with someone. That's really it. Not necessarily doubling his dating. So it's a simple conversation. Learn how to confidently talk to any woman using 5 simple lines where you can comfortably ask her for a phone number within 5 minutes of meeting her and walking away regardless of the result. Walking away happy regardless of the result. That's it. He just wants a little confidence as he starts to build this up before we even get into the double your dating. So let's just make this really easy. So make it easy to what they want. Now, I'm going to give you one other quick tip in here as well too, because if you put this all together, Facebook's going to do all the hard work for you with the shares. I'm going to show you how to run traffic later. Travis is going to show you how the whole contest can help take off as well too. But remember this. I'm going to show you in a second here where you can go into Social Media Ad Genius to see all these trainings. But remember this and write this down. Your marketing sells your product. So your marketing sells your product, or your contest sells your product, and your product keeps people from refunding. So really important. Your marketing sells your product. Your product keeps people from refunding. So your product doesn't have to be perfect. If you provide great service, great value, you're going to be great with it. So our goal, we build out the avatar process. I'm going to show you how to do that on Facebook later. You're going to spend some time profiling your customers like I've mentioned before. Remember, profiling is just answering a sequence of questions to really define a high level of probability of who you want around you. I'm going to give you a plan on how to create focused, viral content that's going to help out your contest. You want to go through the exercises where I'm going to show you how to get the recordings of who do you want to connect with, who specifically do you want to talk to, and at the end of the day, who do you want to hang out with? Who is your ideal customer? Because what we do is we build a plan to have coffee with our avatar. Literally, somebody would sit down and we think, you know, what would June want? Or what would Alexis want? We think of male and female, married, single. What's the common problem that they share? Again, a sequence of questions. Where do they hang out? Because I can find that on Facebook. What do they look like? And then I name my avatar. So my homework for you is to name your avatar, get really clear on specifically on who your avatar is. It's going to be really, really, really important. Now, what happens is you can go into Social Media Ad Genius, the training that you have access to. As soon as you log in, you're going to go start here. You're going to go to profiling right here. Everything that I just covered is right here. Laser target your customer in a little bit longer presentation to help you as well. Wisdom, insight. I'm actually going to show you where a lot of your customers probably already hang out. What other fan pages? Who else can you target? Wisdom's great. I also give you a content strategy. If you're wondering, well, what do I paste on Facebook? Like, I know I'm running a contest, but what do I do specifically? Well, there's a content strategy. And then I show you how to target June. That's our avatar. And overall avatar targeting. So for me, and my part of the homework is, really start thinking about who's your avatar, what's the name of your avatar, and go through this training right here. Now, before I wrap up, one final thing is don't feel that you're overwhelmed and you have to do all this training in the next day. You don't have to do the training because you'll have the recordings. You can use them as long as you want. But really, to get the full value of the training for Travis and I, please take time, because you've already invested money. Please take time and invest time. Go through these videos so on Friday we can answer your questions. And when we meet again next Tuesday, you're ready to rock and roll as well too. So Travis, that's all that I have. Sorry I went over a little bit. It's just running from one thing and a couple technical difficulties, but
it's all right. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll. So I didn't want to stop you.
I appreciate it.
All right, so let's see if we can't pass the baton here. All right. Okay. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yep, picking the right price.
Beautiful. So Kurt, similar, once I hit play, I need you to keep an eye on questions. So if people have questions, especially towards the end when we get into the Q&A, just let me know. So jump on in.
I think, real quick, on my side, since I didn't sign as a presenter, I'll do that next time. I can't see any of the questions, unfortunately.
Here, hold on. Okay, can you see him now? I just made you an organizer.
Kingdom, thank you very much.
Sweet. Problem solved. Okay, so I'm really glad that Kurt went first. I told him I wanted him to go first because I think it really frames the right mindset for what you need to be thinking about as we go through picking the right prize so that you can actually fill your contests with qualified prospects that generate profit and revenue for your business, which for most of you, that's going to be the immediate goal. We're going to go through next week about how to actually physically and mechanically go through and plug in everything. But for this week, we're all focusing on who is your avatar and then what kind of prize would be attractive to them. And so as you think about your avatar, I also am going to want you to think about several prize ideas. And you can submit them both in the group and we can answer them live on the call on Friday so that we can get it narrowed down to the prize that's really going to work for your business. So before we start, I want you to know that while the customers that I'm going to show you here, some of them are customers, some of them are just examples that I pulled together that aren't real customers, but some of them are. Know that the customers we're showing you gave us permission to share their data, but please don't share this information out publicly, and definitely don't harass or approach the customers directly. They aren't in the business of helping other people do the exact same campaign they did, but they respectfully gave us permission to share their information so that you can learn and benefit without their involvement. So first, I want to talk about the profitable prize elements. And I got this sweet, colorful picture of a periodic table here because my slides are pretty lackluster of color. So the very first thing you want to think about when you're picking your prize is the prize needs to be valuable enough to create interest and intrigue. Right? It needs to be something that's worthy of their time to give up their information. So if you think about it in this way, is if you had to literally run across town, you couldn't drive, couldn't ride a bike, whatever, you had to go all the way across town to pick up something for free. Even if you knew guaranteed you would get it for free, which isn't the case of a contest, but if you knew guaranteed you get something for free, if that free thing was 10 miles away and it was only $1 in cash, most people probably wouldn't do it, right? It's not compelling enough. It's not worth the effort to go and get. Now, if you knew that by running across the city, you had a 10% chance of getting $1,000, you'd probably run that 10 miles. I know I would. So it needs to be something that's valuable enough to create interest and intrigue and engage the prospect. Right? We're going to talk about how cash is actually a bad prize, but I use that as an example of something that a level that's compelling enough to get someone to take action. Right, to stick out from the noise. This is actually part of what makes contests so amazing because you can give something of extreme value since you're only giving away one or two of them as opposed to a normal opt-in or low-end offer that everyone gets, right? Instead, you're taking all that value and you're pulling it to something that's really intriguing and really valuable. It also needs to be something that's interesting enough that a contestant wants to share. I've seen cases where this isn't always the case, but that's a fringe case, and we can talk about that. For the most part, you want something that people are going to not only find interesting enough to share or to enter themselves and give up their information and take the time to engage with you as a brand, but you want something that's cool enough that they'd actually want to share it on their page, right? So if it's going to be an experience like going to a concert, tickets to a concert, or other prizes we're going to talk about. You want to make something that actually is value add and cool that they would want to share with their friends, but they're incentivized to do so with the mechanisms of contest domination, so they earn additional entries. And then we get down to the avatar part, which is you want to make sure that the prize element is clearly and directly related to what your business does and sells. So this all comes down to, what does your avatar want, right? And as long as the prize and the thing that you're going to sell are the same want that's being filled, then you're on the right track. And then you want to have something that's significantly more interesting to your prospect as opposed to something that's just interesting to a broad audience. And this goes along with, of course, you'll be doing targeting in your Facebook ads, and you'll be narrowing down who's even going to see the ad, but you can't necessarily control who's going to see a share. And so what you want to do is you want to make something that not only is interesting to that ideal prospect, but you want to make something that's almost only interesting to that ideal prospect. And hopefully that nuance makes sense, because if it's too broad, you may get more leads, but we want qualified leads, because we've seen campaigns with hundreds of entries make thousands of dollars, and we've seen contests with thousands of entries make $0. So being that targeting is everything. As a bonus, if that prize can be rare, collectible, exclusive, things of that nature, that's going to help push it over the top to be something that's really, really awesome. So let's go through some examples. Like I said, some of these are mock and some of these are real. I want to start and just get this one out of the way, and I want your feedback. And Kurt, if you can keep an eye on what people are saying. If you sell online training, which one of you here actually does, if you sell online training and you're running a contest, would you rather give away an iPad to generate leads, or would you rather give away access to your course, or maybe personal, training through a phone call? Which one do you think would perform better for your contest? This one should be relatively simple to start. Access to training, totally. Yeah, I made this one easy for you guys to start, but I wanted to get it out of the way because just as I said in my initial webinar that we had that even sold this, is that 90% or more people are going to want to give away an iPad because they think it'll get them more prospects. Now, it gets them more emails, but it doesn't get them more customers, which is the end goal, right? So, of course, the training is what you want. You want to do that because it's actually geared towards results of what you end up wanting to sell them, of whatever your niche may be. It really doesn't matter. It's a little bit harder sell than the other examples I'm going to give you, but it's laser focused on people that really want to solve a specific pain and really want to get specific results out of their business or whatever they're doing, whether it's personal goals, business goals. This one is really pretty niche agnostic. It's super, super focused on one thing. And then, of course, if you're selling training or you're selling software related to the training, or you're selling other services, like maybe you do, like for Kurt, he may give away, his Facebook ad training, but then he may sell them, his agency side of Facebook ad implementation. So while he may be giving away the training, he may actually sell them on a higher end set of services. So the next one here is a sports bar example. So if you owned a sports bar, and let's just say you're in Seattle, because that's where I am, which one of these prizes do you think would be more effective in helping them generate business coming into the bar? Either a localized t-shirt, in this case I just picked a shirt that says Seattle, Washington, with a $50 credit at the bar, or do you think a Seahawks jersey or a Mariners jersey or a sports jersey? Which one do you think would be more beneficial? All right, I see one answer so far. Anyone else? Okay. So it's actually relatively split, and so these are going to get a little bit harder as we go along. For this exact example, if you want to generate more business for a sports bar, you may actually want to give away the jersey. Now, this one was a tougher call. You could probably be relatively successful either way, but based on what we've seen, the jersey would usually stand above and beyond the shirt and the bar credit. It's because, first of all, it's much higher value. A premium jersey goes for about $150. A t-shirt is usually about $15 plus the $50 bar value. But more than anything, this appeals to the emotional side of people, right? It's hard to get emotional about a $50 bar credit. It is easy to get emotional and to go beyond logic when it comes to entering, and more specifically when it comes to the viral nature of the contest, because people are raving Hawks fans around here. We had like 1 million people literally show up for the Super Bowl parade. And so this helps people really get emotional about the front end lead generation part, and something that they're very excited to share with their friends. Now, is it related to their product? Of course, if you run a sports bar, you want sports fans, and people are only going to want jerseys really if they're sports fans. So that's a good way to keep it in line with what you actually want to sell people, which is getting butts in seats. And then the bonus here is that it's also collectible. We'll talk about the follow-up offer in a different segment, but something like this would naturally lead into, hey, we're running a special Seahawks fan promo only for people who entered the contest. Spend $50, get $75 worth of credit for in-store, the offer being good for 72 hours. So this kind of gets your mind around the idea of how this works and why something that is like a jersey would work for a sports bar better than a credit to the bar itself. All right, so next one, let's talk about fitness. This is one we actually saw a customer run. I won't give you their exact numbers, but this is something that definitely frames up. So if you ran a local gym or you were a personal trainer, would you rather give away, a nice Bowflex set of dumbbells that are adjustable, or would you rather give somebody a month of personal coaching? Which one of these do you think would help generate more prospects and more business? Okay, again, our answers are kind of split here. I find that interesting. Okay. Yeah, so keep in mind, these are the nice Bowflex weights. They're expensive. They're about $400 for these weights. Okay, so the majority of you picked the right one, which is the personal coaching. And while they're both, maybe roughly a $300 value, what's really interesting here is that the personal trainer, even though the cost is about the same as the weights, this is all about the results driven versus the physical product. And so you heard Kurt talk about that a little bit. It's not, hey, you need a cleanse, here's the cleansing stuff. It's, oh, you want to drop 15 pounds, right? And it's very, very similar in this case. Instead of, oh, you want to, maybe add some muscle or you want to tone, instead of saying, here's weights, go do it, you want to handhold and say, I'm going to help you achieve your results. And again, this is something that leads really, really well into the pitch as far as being related to the product, because gyms sell results, not equipment, and trainers also want clients. And this is going to allow you to maybe award people a free 7-day pass into a gym, as well as a consultation with one of their private coaches. Anything of those nature work really well. And personal trainers is somewhat exclusive, right? It's all about those one-on-one results as opposed to, hey, here's some weights. All right, so this is a real client of ours. Affliction Clothing ran a contest with us and gave us permission to use their results. These are 2 real contests that they ran. So both of these are real contests, and they gave away 2 different things. One of them was they have 2 popular UFC fighters. One of them was one of their female athletes, and they were giving away some signed apparel. So there's an element of exclusivity there. And, because it's rare, they don't just sign everything. They get some physical product that they can keep forever. So if they idolize her, then that's a great way to go. The other option that they ran was a similar, it's one of their sponsored athletes, but they gave away 2 tickets to go see an actual fight, and they paid for the airfare and hotel. So clearly they spent more money on the experience, but how would you expect the results of these to play out? And Ben, to answer your question, you just type into the box. So do you think the experience was better than the product? And then if you do think one was better than the other, do you think it was dramatic or do you think it was close? So we're seeing answers for both. All right. So actually, here's the results. So the experience, and keep in mind, they didn't actually spend any money on ads. They have a really big Facebook fan page. So it was only to their existing audience. But if you take a look here, both of these were similar posts, listed on their site and listed on their fan page. And the difference was absolutely dramatic. And the experience won by a landslide. So this was their ability to turn their fans into emails. The experience completely trumped the signed shirt. That's not saying the signed shirt wasn't valuable and wasn't a successful campaign. You can see that, still for every 2 clicks they sent on the signed shirt, they got about 1 email, which is pretty great. But the experience got way more engagement, way more clicks, and a higher conversion rate, which are all great things, right? The idea here is that the experience lets them sort of touch fame, right? So instead of, oh, I have a signed shirt that I know that the athlete held it in their hands and they signed it, which is great. It just doesn't have, doesn't hold a candle to, going to the fight and experiencing that, that athlete in person. So, and Dan, as far as don't they want to pay for ads to attract new fans? I would say yes most of the time, but unfortunately, some bigger companies don't want to spend money on ads because their marketing guy decides that that's not what they want to do. They'd rather spend all the money on the prize. Now, we know from experience that spending money on both is what really gives you those explosive results. Now, as far as being related to the product, this was an Affliction sponsored athlete. They wear Affliction clothing on and off, and you're going to hear someone talking about that one fight they went to, or that one sporting event they went to, or that one experience they went to, typically for years. How often are you going to hear someone talking about the signed shirt? Maybe a few times, but experiences really sit in people's minds, and they're going to remember that, that it was Affliction that sent them there. The athlete was wearing Affliction clothing, and it's going to give them a fondness emotionally for that athlete. So it was a great branding experience for them. And of course, it was rare, right? Not everyone's going to be able to afford to go to a location, buy tickets to an event, plane tickets, etc. So, sort of a trip of a lifetime for some of their customers. All right, now we're going to talk about a dentist example. So, if you ran a local dentist shop and you wanted to get more customers that came in, every 6 months, or people that came in and chose you as their dental provider, would you rather give away, an expensive Sonicare toothbrush, or would you want to give away one whitening session, which, keeping in mind that to actually do teeth whitening takes multiple sessions? So would you rather give someone about 10% worth of teeth whitening, or would you rather give someone a really nice toothbrush that they can use for years, assuming they replace the heads? All right, great. You guys are on the ball now. Totally. 100% of you guys said whitening session. Totally nailed it. Now, this is definitely valuable because white teeth, again, ties back to that emotion. Having, sparkling white teeth can give someone confidence. It can make them feel better about themselves, help them conduct themselves a little more confidently when it comes to meetings. Maybe if you're talking about dating, it helps them, feel more confident talking to the opposite sex. All of those things, amazingly, are tied to just self-confidence. And so having white teeth plays a big role in that. And again, so that is results driven versus physical product. Now, physical products can definitely work. I'm not saying that they don't, but when you have the opportunity to be results driven or experience driven, you're typically going to find that you get much better results. This is also great because it gets clients in the door, for teeth whitening. Even if you give out quite a few of these and you said, hey, we're going to give 20 people their first whitening session for free, that would still be fine because this is actually a very high margin thing that dentists can do. And one session oftentimes isn't close to enough for what someone needs to actually get their teeth nice and sparkly. So you give them one whitening session, they can see immediate results as far as their teeth being, a shade or two lighter, and they're going to want to come in and finish that and get the results that you pictured with the super white teeth. Great. So I'm glad you guys are getting it. All right. Now here's a high-end clothing example. And so if you ran a clothing store, would you rather give away a custom suit, or would you rather give away a gift card that has the exact same amount that a custom suit is worth? They can come in and buy anything they want in your store. Which would you rather give away? Suit, gift card, suit, gift card. Okay, Dan says gift card to get them in. Okay, pretty split 50-50. I would have actually gone with the custom suit, okay, because you can sell it on its benefits as opposed to saying, hey, come in and buy anything you want to look sharp. A custom fitted suit is something that just, once you put one on, it changes how you feel about yourself. It changes how you feel about even high-end clothing in general. My fiance told me at one point that I dressed like a well-dressed high school student, but not necessarily someone with lots of taste. So I went out and I got some nice clothes, and I actually bought a custom fitted suit, not just an altered suit. And I was shocked at how good it felt to wear, and the fit and finish, and it really sells you on the high-end aspects of the clothing. Almost every guy out there could use another new suit, whether that be for work or for events like, weddings, or unfortunately funerals, or business meetings. Any kind of those things are excellent. And this gives you a great opportunity to offer a special discount for non-winners to get their own custom suit, or again, to sell them a gift card, right, where it's buy 50, get 75, or some sort of rule like that, to get them into the store and get them to buy in, and making it a special offer just for those people who took part and engaged in your contests. A lot of times you see Men's Wearhouse actually, run that buy one, get one free, buy one suit, get one free. If you were in that type of scenario, opening up that special offer when it's not running normally as a special offer for people that are in the contest would be a great example of how to utilize that kind of offer. So is this all making sense so far for you guys? I know that some of these are relatively tough, but yes, no? Awesome. Cool. So now I want to do a hotel example. Okay, so let's say that you ran the Hyatt Elevate downtown Seattle. It's a nice place. Neil Patel actually used to live there. I actually recently had dinner at their nice restaurant downstairs called Urbane. So if you ran a hotel and you wanted to get more people to book a night at your hotel, would you rather give away a free 2-night stay, good for any time during the next year, or would you rather give away a live event experience where you give away, 2 tickets to, let's say one of the concerts in town? U2 has played here. Jay-Z has played here. There's obviously a lot of people that have come to the Seattle area. But let's say you gave away 2 tickets to the event. You gave away dinner at the restaurant in your hotel before you go, and you paid for the Uber service there and back. But it didn't include nights at the hotel given away. Which one of these would you rather give away to generate more business? All right, see, now we're getting it. Awesome. So definitely in this case, it would be, it looks like I messed up the title here, but it would definitely be the experience would win. Because if you think about it, just giving away 2 nights at a hotel is the wrong thing to give away in the decision buying process that someone does when they're picking a hotel, right? If I decide, hey, I'm going to go to Seattle, I need to book a hotel, right? Typically people are very transactional about that, and giving away nights at your hotel by themselves can work, and we've seen it work okay, but it doesn't come even close to, hey, I need a reason to go to Seattle. Or even if they live, out of the city, maybe someone lives a couple hours away and there was a concert they wanted to go to. Entering to win concert tickets and knowing ahead of time if you won or not is a fantastic way to capture prospects that would normally be interested in, an event where, in this case, the sample tickets I grabbed only said $15. Let's say tickets were normally $150, and there's a nice restaurant and a car experience. What that does is it gets them in line with the thinking of, I want to make a trip to Seattle to experience something. It's going to be in this date range, right, around this event. And so whether they win or not, you let them know early, and then you give them a special offer of, hey, if you're going to go to the event, we have a special discount for people that are going to the U2 concert. Use coupon code U2 contest or something of that nature. Save 15% when you book a night at the Hyatt Elevate. So you can see how this is in line with the way that people decide to make travel plans, book a hotel, go to an event. And it definitely, in this case, the Hyatt Elevate is a nice hotel. So you're going to be targeting upscale prospects. If you are more of a mass market hotel, like say in Vegas, we've seen people do well by purchasing tickets to EDC, which is a big electronic concert that they do down in Vegas. So if you can run a low rate, but go for volume, it'd be a great way to capture the attention of people coming in for a big event and then giving them a special offer to make sure that your hotel is the one that's sold out first. So obviously this is super related to the product. Like I said, not necessarily exclusive to inbound prospects, as they could be living in Seattle and say, hey, I'd want to go to that concert. I'd love an Uber ride and a dinner, even though I wouldn't stay at the hotel. But there's so much upside to this particular campaign that it's sort of a no-brainer. So I know we're a little over our hour that we had planned. I know I asked a few of you at the beginning to let me know about your businesses. Kurt, if you're still around, I'd like you to potentially be available for some questions as well. But
yeah, I'm good until the bottom half of the hour.
Okay.
So I'm good, sir.
Fantastic. So do you guys have any questions about your avatar or about how that avatar directly relates to the contest prizes or anything like that? If you do, let us know. I know it's an intimate group, so we may not get a ton, but I'd love to hear from you about any questions you might have. Let's take a look here. All right, and so you said, how about remote computer repair company and prizes for that? So are you virtually taking over someone's computer to do work on it, or are people physically going out to computers, sort of like Geek Squad? Yes. So so it's remote help then. It's not. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So so in that case,
I can help with this.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I think it really comes down to is if, how do you usually attract customers? How do you usually get customers? And if everything that you do is remote, what's something easy and small that you can give someone? Like, can you send them a flash drive that has a bunch of contracts, or a flash drive that gives you a bunch of tips? Or, there's a lot of stuff that can be downloaded digitally. Honestly, some of it can be what we've done before is just little videos of how to walk people through simple tasks that then make you the expert. So like, and I'm making this up, but like clearing cache or fixing these small little issues, like not a big deal if you record videos and send that to someone for some additional content. Just shows that you're the expert, so when it comes time to really fix their stuff, they know the first person to hire.
Yeah, so that would make a fantastic follow-up sequence. What I could see as a prize, though, which is the little bit tougher nut to crack, is, if someone's having an issue with their computer, they're typically going to think, hey, maybe I have a virus or I have malware, I'm assuming. And so, you could, if you have a preferred, antivirus system, like let's just say it's Norton, Symantec, it may not be, but, maybe you could say, hey, advertise, hey, are you having issues with your computer? We're giving away a year license of Symantec Enterprise to help clean your computer and give you the protection that Enterprise has. And while you and I both know that doesn't necessarily always do, fix everything, your computer could still be running slow, things of that nature. You could follow up the leads who enter, a contest for antivirus or malware software, and give them those little tips and tricks about, hey, here's a few things how you optimize your computer. By the way, if you don't think your computer is cleaned up to the level it should have been, we do offer remote help services. You can click here to book us at a 10% discount as a special contest customer. So I know that that's not probably the sexiest, but yeah, giving away a diagnosis and repair could work totally. With year-long support, yep, that's totally in line with giving away software, but diagnosis and repair, and then everyone who doesn't win the free diagnosis and repair, maybe you give everyone a free diagnosis, but then they can pay for the repair. Those are ideas that you can use right there. So let me try to dig through some of these other ones. You guys are flying them in now. It's great. All right, Oscar, you say you do auto detailing. You're thinking of giving away an interior cleaning and driving to the location to do the cleaning. You know, even though that sounds basic, you know, winning car detailing is great. I mean, you look at, you know, Groupon's and Living Socials, which I don't love their business model because it's discount forward as opposed to discount follow up. Plus they take half of it and all that kind of stuff. But those types of offers, you know, discounted on auto detailing usually do pretty well. I know we actually bought some in our household, and we talked to people and they said they were booked out for months. Granted, they were doing it for pennies on the dollar, but, you know, doing auto detailing like that is a great way to, you know, and you can advertise towards car clubs in your local area or people that have nice cars and would actually value detailing. Because I would assume for you, beyond just selling, you know, maybe a one-time detailing, is you want to get people who detail their car several times a year, right? Those would be better customers for you, I would assume. So giving that away, even though it's basic, sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, it's exactly what you do and sell. So it's fine to give that away. So hopefully that helps answer it. Let's see if you said anything else. Exactamundo. Perfect. Okay. Let's see a couple others here. So Kurt, looks like Lorraine has some questions about her avatar.
Absolutely. Let me come on down.
So yeah. Okay. Go ahead. If you're on it, and go for it.
Yep. I'm in the internet marketing business. My avatar is Baby Boomer. Great. Know that market very well. I'm running a contest now, giving away a product called Traffic Masteries Academy. Teach them how to get leads. Everyone likes the competition, but they don't enter. For me, I would have to see the landing page. I would just require some additional information. The main reason for it is it sounds like you've identified your avatar, which is great. I understand you're in internet marketing. Like a couple of questions that would just run through my head right away is I would think, okay, do I have to educate this customer first before they buy or before they enter the contest? So for example, if Travis and I give away, because I'm very familiar with the internet marketing arena, if Travis and I were to give away, learn how to do Facebook conversion pixels and really just rock and roll this whole thing, a lot of people aren't going to understand specifically what conversion pixels are. Now, if you're experienced in Facebook marketing, you're absolutely going to know. So we would really only get opt-ins, or we would really only get leads from people who already advertised on Facebook because they were already educated on what a conversion pixel is. So sometimes positioning the copy can be a little bit different as well too. So baby boomer generation, not to be stereotypical, but that's kind of what you're doing with profiling, is they're not necessarily internet savvy. They want to make sure it's really simple and anyone can do it, right? So something like, regardless of your online experience, you too can produce online leads in just a few minutes a day. Okay, I don't need to know anything about the technology. Gives me a little bit better chance to opt in, look at your product. So I'd have to, so Travis, you just sent over the landing page, didn't you? That's
awesome. There's an autoplay video on it, so you'll want to pause that.
Great, not a problem.
Yeah, but this, I think you nailed it with the copy, because so I'm looking at it right now, and so basically give you a quick review here. It's saying enter to win the Traffic Masters Academy course, which reveals everything about traffic no one ever talks about. Now, the issue I see with that, I'm certainly not a copy pro. Kurt's better than I am, but you look at it and, enter to win the Traffic Masters Academy course. That assumes that they know what that is, or that it also assumes that they trust that is a knowledgeable expertise, resource for them to use. And then it also says, which reveals everything about traffic no one ever talks about. That feels pretty open-ended to me. It's not, hey, enter to win or enter to learn, how to generate more people for your business, or something that has more of a specific outcome, because traffic is great, but if it's not converting, then that's an issue as well.
Yeah, just a couple of things here. So I'm really familiar with exactly what you're promoting here. And these guys are clients of ours as well too, so I know this very, very, very well. So here's a couple of things. I would look at even changing out this video to have it just to be you, right? So people only care about the story, they don't care about the specifics. Let me give you a really quick example. I'm going to give you the specifics, then I'm going to give you the story. The specifics. I'm in Stockton, California. And I'm at a speaking event. A bunch of us rent a limo together. We all go to dinner together. I'm working too much. I don't go to dinner. I call my buddy and say, oh my God, the limo left me. He says, okay, let the limo turn back around and the limo will come get you. And I rode in the limo by myself to dinner. Pretty stupid story, right? Or as the details. Here's the story. I took a picture of me in the limo by myself saying, in Stockton, California again, speaking, taking the limo to dinner. I love this life. So all these people are like, oh my goodness, you're speaking all over, they're flying you around, you're in private limos all the time. No, the actual story wasn't that exciting. So all this additional content that you have on the page, it takes that excitement away, right? It's kind of like, here's the magic trick, let me show you the magic trick. But what you can do is you can say, enter to win the Traffic Masteries course, right? At the very top, say a $297 value. Now, your video is a great way to connect with people. If you want to film a quick, I do lots of iPhone videos. You don't even really have to have any editing either. But what you do is you just say, hey, look, if you're just starting out, if you're a baby boomer, and you're looking for just additional ways that you can produce leads online, I've got a really easy way for you to do that. Now, and let's say you're part of that age category, which is great. Tell people a little bit about your experience. The thing is as soon as I start reading this, because I know the baby boomer generation very, very well, over the course you're going to learn from the men and women that were in the cutting edge of traffic generation today, 297 value. It's kind of buried down below. Okay. They know PPC, Facebook, blogging, YouTube, banner ads, media buys, solo ads. I don't even know PPC. What the hell is that? I don't even have Facebook. Oh my God. Now we're already at overwhelmed. These people haven't even got started yet, right? And I can't tell you how many baby boomers I've talked to, and I don't mean to pick on anybody. It's just, remember, our best avatar is a baby boomer. But we'll have people say, Kurt, I don't know what to do. Okay, did you log into the program? Yes. Did you watch the very first video? Kurt, this is really complicated. Did you click the play button? Kurt, you don't understand. Have you ever gone to Google? Yes. Have you ever watched a video from YouTube? Yes. Did you hit the play button? Kurt, you don't understand. Did you hit the play button? Oh my God, Kurt, when I did, it told me everything to do. And it's like, oh, it's just one simple step. So make it really easy, make it really comfortable. I suggest in filming yourself. But here's the other thing, and Travis, I want your opinion on this. Is 24 days seems really long to me. There doesn't seem to be any urgency. There doesn't seem to be like, hey, we're only going to have 100 giveaways. It kind of sounds like, hey, I'm going to give you this for free. You can opt in now. So I would be more specific to your avatar. B, I would be less specific on all the things they're going to get inside and focus more on the feeling, because remember, we want to apply to the emotion to get people in. And then Travis, what about the length of time here or the sense of urgency to make sure that they register for the contest today?
Well, I know she's already been running this for a little while based on prior interactions, but a month is fine as long as it's converting and you're driving new traffic to it. I think and Lorraine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that you're either not running too many ads, or if you are, it's lower end on the volume. So if you're not able to run a lot of new traffic to it, a week or two is probably better. Now, we usually run ours for a month, but we continually put traffic in front of it. So that's really the question mark is how much qualified traffic can go to it. And obviously, if it's not converting right now, you got to get that working first in terms of copy before you would want to spend a bunch of money on ads. But those are the two things to consider. But typically, a month is not bad if you're sending traffic that's new. Does that make sense?
I completely agree.
Cool. Well, I only got a few more minutes with you, so I want to burn through a couple more of these. Dan asks, is it better to give away one huge prize in 1 month contest or smaller prizes and contests that you run more frequently? Dan, this comes down to, depending on what your budget is. I would just do one. I would start with one larger prize over, 2 to 4 weeks, because you want something that's super compelling to get people to enter in the first place, and compelling enough for them to share it. And I think what you'll typically find is that unless you have a nice fat budget where you can do multiple different contests that are multiple awesome prizes, you're going to be disappointed in the results. Trying to run, it's like building too many ships instead of building one big one. You're going to be more successful if you have one really attractive prize that you can put a lot of your shoulder behind. I think you'll get better results. So hopefully that answers it for you.
Agreed.
Great. So let's see here. How would I get the experience aspect into the prize for a pet products business? Doug, depending on the pet products, actually we have a client right now that is in the dog niche, and the whole thing we're focusing on is the pain points. And so it's like, there's a couple different buckets. There is people who like to pamper their animals. And so if any of your pet products are for pampering, as far as, high-end dog beds or nice shampoos, I mean, it can really sort of, the sky's the limit in that regard of pampering. And, sometimes humans can get more emotional about the experience their animals have than their own experience. So that's one aspect. And the other part is, depending on like I said, I don't know specifically what kind of pet products, but there's a lot of obedience angles where it's, hey, wouldn't you have a lot better experience if your dog didn't jump on you all the time? Wouldn't you have a lot better experience if you didn't have to worry about your dog or, your animals around kids? So there's sort of a divergent path there. But I think if you get just a little bit creative, you can think of ways that people can give their pet this great experience, and you're going to be targeting people who care about that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So Travis,
those are people that pay money anyways.
Huge. So quick question for you. Did you ever have dogs growing up, or do you have dogs now?
Had dogs growing up.
Perfect. So let's be honest, everybody, because I have dogs now, and I have 2 beagles. Show a picture of a puppy. People love that stuff, right? You're 100% right, because I have clients in the niche as well, and some friends that are in the pet niche, and they're just killing it. But it all starts with that emotion. So think of the, oh my goodness, that's cute. My girlfriend, anything that has a puppy beagle on it, she'll buy it. Like she's a laid back natural hippie, right? Which is awesome. It could have nitrous in there, and as long as there was a picture of a puppy beagle, right, she'd buy it, and she just loves it. It's a great way to share some additional stuff. And again, I always try to think of what are the high value things that I can give that really don't cost me any money, but someone feels that they're participating in the experience. And Travis, you're right. I mean, there are people that will spend a lot more money on their pets than they do on themselves. So
sometimes people buy better food for their pets. They're buying human grade dog food and they're eating McDonald's themselves. It's so true.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you only have a few more minutes, so I'm going to burn through a few more of these. Tony asks, if my avatar is a new mom, would a weekend away be a good or bad prize? Tony, that would be an awesome prize.
Yeah.
Because, but as long as you couple it with things that a new mom would really want, think about what they're missing, right? They probably, if they're a brand new mom, they've been hunkered down probably for a while. So you want to talk about rejuvenation type stuff, right? As far as, a weekend away, maybe with them and their husband or just them, including, a spa and massage and the things that are going to relax them that they haven't been able to enjoy, in a little while because of their kids. Giving them that escape, hugely emotional. That would totally rock. And ideas on targeting for this service. Oh, that comes with the remote stuff. And we'll talk about that more on the Q&A or in the Facebook group. I'm happy to help you out, but I just want to try to spread it around a little bit more here. Okay. Yes, Ben, avatar just means target market. It doesn't actually mean like their profile. So, oh, Lorraine, you're in Moab? Okay.
Yeah, very familiar with those guys.
Yeah. So am I, because I'm friends with John Chow. Okay, and Lorraine has some questions about conversion pixels. Do you have a video you can point her to in your training?
Absolutely. So it is level 3. Level 3 will explain all the conversion pixels, but I can tell you here real quick is if you log into Social Media Ad Genius, the very, very first video you're going to see right below the video, you're going to see a chart that basically kind of outlines where everything is. You're going to look at the conversion pixels that are in level 1 just to kind of get a high-level overview. Level 1, and then you're going to jump over to level 3 to watch all those other videos. That is something I'm going to cover more in week 4. It's something that's very valuable to your marketing, but you got to be running consistent traffic, set everything up. So if you don't have it right now, don't worry about it. We'll get to it. If you want to start poking around and learning it, it's great. It's one of those things kind of like playing chess or riding a bike or learning a new martial art. It's a little painful at first just getting to know it, but once you got it, it's a great tool you're going to use all the time. So everybody wants to make $1 million tomorrow, but trust me, if you don't learn it this week or next week or the next 3 weeks, but you learn it in the year 2015, you're going to be awesome. So watch those videos over, and I'll explain it more and more as we get to week 3 and 4.
Awesome. Well, I think we're about out of time because I know you got to go. You have a thing at 1:30, but we really want to thank, first of all, thank you everyone for, buying into the group coaching. We think that you're going to be pretty happy with the results by the end of the 6 weeks. Your homework, as you recall, is to go ahead for your part, Kurt. What you wanted to do about their avatar, their homework?
Yeah, real quick. Debbie, you said you don't have a login. So Travis and I are going to have a mutual login for the recordings here, but the login I was just talking about is Social Media Ad Genius. If you don't have access to Social Media Ad Genius yet, just send support at Social Media Ad Genius an email. It's my business partner, Nick. He's traveling. He'll be able to take care of that for you. But please go ahead and send him an email if you're not able to get in. I believe all the logins were sent out. So my homework is really just to spend time on your avatar, get inside of Social Media Ad Genius, go over the avatar training, and really start to put a name on your avatar. Like, let's get really, really focused on the customer that you want to be, right? So we want you to name your avatar, number 1. And really, number 2 is to watch the profiling videos inside Social Media Ad Genius. And then if you have any questions along the way, make sure you post them into the Facebook group. Travis and I will be hanging out there. And, of course, we will send you out an email on the times and everything else for Friday to get all of your questions answered. So other than that, literally showing up here is half the battle. Actually, it's 3/4 of the battle. You're participating in your own success. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for 90 minutes. And, Travis, I really appreciate I always learn stuff when we get together, so I appreciate your insight here too.
Yeah, and so your homework from my end is, first of all, everyone who's not in the Facebook group, I just reposted it. I was a dummy and I set it to a secret at the beginning. Now it's just to closed. So if you click that, you can request access. I'll approve you. But I want you to write down at least 3 potential prize ideas for things that you think you want to give away. And feel free to post that in the Facebook group, and we'll either answer it right there in the Facebook group, and if we don't get to it, we'd like to get to it no later than our Lunch and Learn on Friday, where we're going to go through some of these examples again live and really break it down about what's good, what's bad about it, what might be your best option out of the 3, and we'll go from there. So hopefully that works for everybody, and we're looking forward to talking to you all on Friday.
And then Travis, just real quick while we're on here, someone had just asked about the contest group. I know originally it was set to private, so some people just had a couple of issues joining. So
I just reposted the link, and I saw a couple of requests come in. So I think
okay, perfect. I was working on the same thing, so you already got to it. Thank you, sir.
Add. All right, you guys are all in. Okay.
There you go.
And like I said, I'll be emailing out the logins for the new members area that's almost wrapped up. Hopefully later today, if we get it all sorted. And the recording of this will be in there, and all future recordings will be in there as well.